Already.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the world, most gracious, most merciful. It is He, the Almighty Allah, who has been explicit in Surah Al-Mulk, the surah that glorifies His might. And it says, and I'll translate, تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي هلك الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. That blessed be to the one Almighty Allah, in whose hands rests all the authority, and He who is most capable. And that it's He, Allah, who has created life and death, that all humanity shall endure, and He says shall endure, in order to serve as a test to all of us. In many different surahs or chapters of the Quran, Allah has been explicit as He spoke about the journey that we are all going to take. And He says clearly, death is inevitable to all that are there. It's not a law, because laws we can sit here and amend anytime. But death is a must that no human being shall evade. And Allah says that we shall test you with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, and loss of life. Therefore, death is a test, for which test shall only be passed by those who leave behind in perseverance and those that retain patience and do good things. Every passing on of a comrade or of an individual is a testimony to those that stay behind, that what shall be spoken about you. Honorable Ssegirinya, today on the topic, Ya Muhammad Rabban. When I knew you as a young man, you are called Richard, and you stepped forward and told us that I've seen the light and I would like to join Islam. And he gave the Shahada and he said, indeed, I believe there is one God, that is Allah, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. And he was welcomed with pure hands. This pure soul lying here today did not turn back, but he did one noble thing. He did not break his umbilical cord from his relatives. Because keeping blood relations, even when you change religion, is a sign of worship in Islam. And even when you convert and you turn your back against the people that fed you, the people that raised you, is a sin in Islam. He did not break that tie with his mother, with his uncles, with his brothers, and neither did he do so with his children. Therefore, he lived by actions, trying to induce others to join the path that he joined, but he did not coerce them to see the light. In all he said, as I saw him as a young man, he was a radio caller. You know, these callback people on the radio. And he used to say, Honorable, one time I would like to be a member of parliament. And I told him, Honorable Ssegirinya, it takes steps. He said, I'll jump all those steps. So he tried first in 2011. I told him, you will not go through, and he'll bear witness when he stood against Honorable Latif Sebagat. Then he came back and he asked me what happened. I told him, you're fit to be a councillor. Then he said, in 2016, I'll vie to be a councillor. Now I'll follow you. I'll heed to your advice. Indeed, he heeded too. He went and contested and tried to seek the FDC party ticket, to no avail. He came back to me and jokingly he said, I have no ticket. I told him it's not the ticket, it's the people. Go to the people. By then he wanted to get the symbol of the clock. He went there, it was not available. On the first nomination day, he came back and said, I don't have the clock. I told him, go and pick whatever symbol is there. He chose the table. Then he said, but I'm too short. People will think I'm a joker. I told him, use the table to your advantage. Fabricate a table, go to every trading center and stand on the table. And tell the people when things go wrong, I'll stand on this table and you'll see me as high as possible, passing on your message. Indeed, finally when, and on a lighter note, finally when everyone had realized that Ssegirinya was taking this vote, the FDC candidate moved around with the microphone saying, I'm Ssegirinya Muhammad, please vote for me. I'm the one with the symbol of the key. So Ssegirinya ran back to me and said, there is something wrong. This person is saying he's Ssegirinya Muhammad, but vote for the key. You know the symbol of the key. So I told him, get a microphone and go back with the table everywhere and tell them it's me, Ssegirinya Muhammad, the one on the table. Indeed, he did so, and he came out to be victor as an independent for the first time. Having arrived at KCC, one of the lightweight stories, he contested to be speaker of KCC. He contested with the Honorable Kawaria here. And Ssegirinya Muhammad got one vote, which was his vote. Then he said, this world is really very funny. Even the people that nominated me did not vote for me. But he said, it doesn't matter. History will record that a courageous gentleman called Ssegirinya once stood to be speaker of KCCA and had 2 nominees, but only got 1 vote, which he was sure was his own vote. So history must register now that there was a courageous man who took a step and never thought failure was the end of life. Failing at times is one style of training us to be better. Finally, I would like to thank his party for having come out boldly to grant him the ticket to run as MP Kawempe North. He fairly deserved it. He went through a lot that we all knew, but let me talk about this, Right Honorable Speaker. The discretion of court in granting bail. I pray, and I would like to address this to all politicians. Please, let us not try to interfere with the works of courts of laws in using their discretionary principles in adjudication of court matters as regards matters of bail. Because bail is one of the rights, is one of the processes where people acquire a free and fair trial. And having this temporary freedom probably would have helped this gentleman go and try to seek medical attention. He would not have gotten lost. But finally, we have him here. And it's us to talk about it here and then and then and that. I think we can do better. I know there are those that do crime, and courts will pass judgment on that person that should not be in society, and that person that should be let to be out and, you know, carry on their court matters while having access to doing their work or being out, having temporary freedom. Therefore, finally, Right Honorable Speaker, from Allah we came, and from Allah we shall all return.
Thank you.
May Allah receive your soul and forgive you for whatsoever you did wrong, Honorable Ssegirinya, and grant you Jannat Firdaus. May peace be upon all of you.
Thank you, Allah.